Devcon. I'm Garm and one of the co-founders of GlowDollar, and I'm here to talk about reclaiming our 8 billion through funding public goods with stablecoin profits. You may not know this, but there's two tokens that are involved in 47% of all DEX swaps. I am talking, of course, about USDC and USDT, and because of this, they're making a pretty healthy profit. Tether reported 5 billion in profits in the first half of 2024, and they're earning that profit basically on the backs of the Ethereum ecosystem embracing these stablecoins. And how do they actually do this? Well, Tether and Circle basically have a duopoly on all of these stablecoins, approximately 155 billion in market cap, and then they earn about 5% yield on that, which is a lot of money. There's two problems with this 8 billion though. One, this 8 billion is extracted from the ecosystem, and two, because of the duopoly, we are compromising on decentralization and censorship resistance. Let's start with the latter. So a duopoly controlling critical infrastructure like this is very dangerous. For three reasons. A duopoly gives single points of failure, it can get lazy or greedy, and it breaks censorship resistance. Let's dive into each a little bit closer. So when the USDC DPEG happened during the SVB bank run, we saw that there was a huge liquidity crunch on Uniswap and Curve, and basically most tokens became untradeable during that period. This is an existential threat to the ecosystem because if everything breaks down, if one of these stablecoins go down, you end up with a problem. Secondly, a duopoly can get lazy or greedy. When the risk-free rate was about 5%, Tether was making 8%. So they're doing something with the assets backing your stablecoins that is more risky and could result in it going unstable. And just because they want to make $80 on every $1,000 of USDT out there. Third, a duopoly breaks censorship resistance. This is something that Vitalik highlighted a couple of years ago. Basically, whenever ETH needs to do a contested hard fork, Circle and Tether could decide which one is going to be the canonical one. And to be honest, a DeFi that depends on two companies is decentralized in name only. How about that 8 billion and how it's extracted from the ecosystem? Can we reclaim it as an industry? Can we use these billions for something better than basically having Circle and Tether buy islands and jetpacks? After all, holding USDT is funding Tether at no cost. If we would take that 8 billion that they are earning and we distribute it equally amongst all of the Devcon attendees this year, every single one of them would get 600K. That's a shit ton of money. We can do something much better with it. Unfortunately, giving the profits directly to you is illegal in most countries, so we need to find something else. We could fund the ecosystem. We could pay 50 times Ethereum Foundation's yearly budget with that, or 75 times Optimism's retro funding spending today, or triple all Ethereum validators' income, cover all ops expenses of L2s. We could outspend the pharma lobby, which is the largest lobby on the planet, and still have 2 billion left. That 2 billion we could then direct into things that improve the state of the planet and have crypto in a good light for once and graduate from a cockroach of the economy to a flagship through lifting, for instance, people out of extreme poverty, providing meals or buying malaria nets. So next time you're faced with using a stablecoin, you can choose between big stablecoin, which keeps all the yields and buys islands, or you could use a yield-bearing stable, which is illegal in most countries and thus forced offshore, which is riskier, or you could choose GlowDollar, a US-issued and regulated stablecoin that uses its profits to fund public goods and charities. So after all, holding GlowDollar is funding public goods at no cost. So we call this auto-PGF, automatic public goods funding at zero cost. We're already doing this, so we fund organizations like Protocol Guild, Gitcoin, Optimism's retro funding, Cello Public Goods Endowment, Give It every month. We started this a year ago, you can do this in our dApp, and you can just easily select, after you connected your wallet, you can select options like Optimism's retro funding. We started this a year ago. In the first month, we donated $150. This month, we're donating $4,000. So that's a pretty healthy growth in a year. After this talk, I hope you help us capture 1% of the stablecoin market, after which we would be able to donate $6 million to projects within the ecosystem every month. How can you do this? You can start by diversifying your USDT and USDC holdings. Start with 10% today, ramp it up to 100% by the end of the year. You can ask your employer to be paid in a different stable, or you could integrate Glow Dollar in your dApp directly. I hope you are as excited as I am about reclaiming our 8 billion and that you'll start funding public goods within the crypto ecosystem with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Garm. It's a very cool project, I need to say. Anyone in the audience with, okay, the gentleman in the red shirt. Catch it, catch it.
Could you talk a little bit more about how holders choose which public goods the funds go to, and how might that change at scale?
Sure, yeah, so it's very easy. You go to app.glowdollar.org. There you connect your wallet. Based on how many Glow Dollars you have, you will see an amount of funds that will generate on a yearly basis. Then you can choose recipients. We currently have 8 in a list. These can be either causes, so for instance, Web3 public goods, or individual recipients like Giveth. And then if you add them to your bucket of recipients you want to have, you can choose which percentage each is going to get. Let's say you want to do 50-50, then you sign a message, we store it, and then at the end of the month, we tally everything up and donate it to the relevant organizations.
Cool. Do we have other questions in the audience? One in the back, yes.
Hi there, great presentation. I just wondered if you could outline if there's any differences of a negative variety between the main stablecoins and what you're doing. I mean, would there be any disadvantage in using Glow Dollar? What's the biggest challenge for that? Well,
of course, there are some disadvantages, but at its core, it's just a similar stablecoin as USDC. We are US issued, 100% fiat backed by cash in US treasuries. We follow the same license model, so it's the same sort of risk framework. That said, we are not as ubiquitous as USDC, so you might not be able to use it at all exchanges or in your favorite DeFi platforms, but you can hold it in exactly the same way in your wallet as you do USDC.
Great. Thank you very much.
We have time for one more question. Anyone? Okay, over there.
Hey, what type of organization is Glow Dollar? Is it a non-profit?
Glow Dollar is currently structured as a non-profit. That means that we do not have the exact 501c3 status in the US yet, but we are what's called a non-stock corporation. That means that there is no equity, there's no token, there's just directors, and then within our statutes of the organization, it also says that we cannot distribute dividends or anything of that kind. We can only distribute salaries. And we are working on becoming an actual nonprofit in the near future.
Cool. Actually, still a little bit of time left. Any more questions from the audience? Anyone? If not, thank you, Garm. Thank you so much for the sharing today. Now we're